The 2017 men's lacrosse season opens up on February 4th when the Retrievers take on North Carolina. We want to welcome in new head coach Ryan Moran. And Coach, in your first season at UMBC, talk about how your previous experiences on staffs at Loyola and Maryland Navy have prepared you to be a head coach at UMBC.
Well, all those staffs have afforded me the opportunity to work alongside some of the greatest teachers in our sport right now, Coach Mead, Coach Tillman, Coach Cottle, Coach Toomey, and just spending time with those guys, seeing how they handle their day-to-day business, how they set up their practice plans, and how they recruit. Have all really given me good experience in terms of knowing what you have to do to be successful. And also, all those programs have had their each individual style. So I think that's really going to help this year moving forward. We have a great schedule, and it's going to allow us to be adaptable and hopefully be a team that's tough to prepare for.
Coach, in basketball, Ryan Odom has talked about this being a foundational year, your first year. As you move into that first season, what has been your primary focus with this group, with this team moving into the campaign?
Just having a staff that clearly articulates a standard of what we're looking to hit, both off the field and on the field. And that standard really is just being individuals that are built to improve. And that's been our main focus, especially on the field. Every day, coming out, giving a championship caliber approach, giving a championship caliber effort, and really focusing on, hey, what are we weak at, and how can we turn that into a strength?
Coach, you recently announced your team captains. Talk about that process and how proud you are of those three young men that are now your team captains.
Well, we took the whole fall. I think it was important for the staff to get to know our players more. And then we broke up each class individually, had them pick a characteristic that they want to see in each captain. And then we voted upon what those characteristics were. And when we did the tallying, both staff and team, we felt like there were three individuals that, their peers and their staff said overwhelmingly they want to be the face of leadership for this team. So we're really happy with them.
Talk about them individually, Max, Rustin, and Jason, and what they bring to the table for your squad.
I think they all complement each other really well, and I think it's important to have an underclassman within your leadership panel as well. So Jason really checks that box, but Jason's also a really strong competitor, and I think people feed off of his competitive spirit. Rusty just brings consistent passion every day, very fiery, and I think the kids respond well to him. And to balance it all off, I think Max just has a really nice, quiet leadership about him, and where he's very approachable to everyone on the team.
Coach, we know those three young men are going to bring a lot of production to your team in 2017. Any newcomers that you're really excited about that you think are going to make a big impact in their first seasons at UMBC?
Well, we're hoping Jake Brothers, who's a freshman faceoff guy, can progress and improve throughout the year. And that's an area we certainly have been putting a lot of time in the preseason in and trying to really do a great job in the middle field at faceoff X to hopefully generate some more possessions for us. He's one freshman that comes to mind. And, there's been great competition with all the freshmen. I think they're doing a tremendous job right now.
Coach, as we mentioned, you open at North Carolina about a week after this first airs on February 4th, and you've really designed a tremendous non-conference schedule. After the Tar Heels, it's Johns Hopkins, and then it keeps rolling on. What was the basis of your philosophy in designing such a difficult schedule as you guys prepare then for America East play?
Well, we wanted to have 14 competitions, and I also wanted to have a week to prepare for each team. So you got to bump your schedule up a little bit. And it's my hope that the American East is a really tough conference, and if we can kind of put tough competition in the months of February and March, and get our guys experience playing in those tough games, allow them to see adversity, handle adversity, grow through adversity. When we get into our conference slate, we're hoping we're built to improve and peak at the right time and make a strong run at the conference championship.
Coach, thanks very much for the visit, and best of luck on the 2017 season.
Thanks, Steve.
So Max, talk to us about how you've been here. Obviously, this is your fourth year. How the transition has been for you with a new coaching staff in place this year.
Well, obviously, going into your senior year, it's not really ideal to want or get a new coach or something like that to happen. But Coach Moran and his staff have really put together great practice plans and have made us, I believe, a better team by the intensity and everything else that they bring to the table has really just been paying off for us.
Max, you guys had an interesting fall season and now into your spring season where you practice kind of later, more intensely in the fall, and then kind of almost literally transitioned right into a very early January practice schedule as you get prepared for the early part of the season. That's been different for you guys. How has that gone? How have you viewed that?
Well, it's a little bit of a shorter winter break, but I mean, I think it'll pay off greatly. Getting back early with the guys, the chemistry has been great with everybody, and I think we're really starting to click more earlier than we have in the past. So looking forward to the season, yeah.
Max, in terms of goals for the season, I know obviously you and the captains have talked. I'm sure you've had some team discussions as well. What are your goals for the 2017 season?
Goals obviously are to win, take it game by game, but most importantly, get back to the America East Conference Championship and be competitive in the conference.
And Max, finally, recently, Coach made the announcement about yourself and Rustin and Jason being named team captains for this year. What does it mean to you to be a team captain for Retriever Lacrosse this spring?
It means a lot, being asked by your teammates to represent them in a bigger sense, I guess. It really means a lot to me. It humbled me a lot, and I'm happy about it.
And let me ask you another question, Max, from a personal standpoint. Obviously, one of the all-time leaders in assists at UMBC, still have a season to go, have established a lot of outstanding credentials offensively. From a playing standpoint, how do you view your senior season as? What do you want to try to accomplish from a playing standpoint?
Just doing whatever it takes to win. I know you stated about the assists, but that's really that's to my teammates. They had the hard part in that, so I appreciate all they've done for me, and I know that playing with everybody, it's been great.
Rustin, 3 years obviously, previously at UMBC. Now you enter your senior year with a new coaching staff. How has the transition been for you and for the rest of the team, moving over to Coach Moran's and his staff?
I'd have to say that the transition has gone exceptionally well. It's really been a blessing. The guys that we have on staff now, they really brought out a different side of some of the guys that maybe was stagnant in the past. And honestly, I think they're getting the most out of everybody that's here, all the players from freshmen all the way up to seniors. So I think I'm really excited to see how the season goes. I think everybody is with the new coaching staff, in place.
Rustin, it's been a very different kind of fall and into the early spring for you guys. Obviously, you practiced much later into the fall semester and had a very short kind of break where now you're in an early January preparing for a very early regular season start against North Carolina. How has that whole preseason been, and do you think it's been productive and beneficial for you guys?
I mean, I'd have to say it's been nothing but beneficial, nothing but productive, because honestly, we really laid the foundation starting in the fall. And once the foundation's laid, all it takes is just hard work, a couple tweaks here and there, really honing in on the things that we put in place in the fall, and that's where we're at now. So I think, like I said, I think all the guys are excited to see how that foundation is going to play out, and just coming out and improving every day.
I'm sure early on you and Jason and Max have talked about goals for the season. I'm sure you've talked about it collectively with the team, but what kind of goals do you have for this 2017 season?
I mean, I think the number one goal is putting UMBC back on the map. We kind of took a dip in recent years, not making the conference tournament, and it kind of hurts, being here 2 years, and that was your mark. So we're excited to come out and really change what UMBC has fallen to in the last 2 years, and hopefully make the tournament and do well in conference.
Rustin recently announced that yourself, Jason, and Max were named captains of the 2017 team. What does that mean to you personally to be a captain in your senior campaign?
I mean, well, it's an honor. It's an honor, really. Putting in the work for 3 years, and new coaching staff comes in. You don't know what they feel about you, how the guys feel about the new coaching staff, and being named captain, like you said, is an honor. But it's no different than being a player. It's really just coming out and every day just setting the example, setting the tone for how you want practice to go, how you want in the grand scheme of things the season to go.
Finally, Rustin, on the field, in the cage, obviously you've done extremely well the last several seasons as a starter. What are your personal goals in terms of on the field play for your last year at UMBC?
Just, I'd have to say, just make the saves that need to be made, and do my best at leading this defense to making stops that we should be making every time to get our offense the ball and hopefully win some games.